So we're three of the developers from Modrinth, and if you don't know, Modrinth is a mod hosting platform. Um, I guess we'll just jump right into it. So, first question: any plans for maps, data packs, etc.? Simple answer: yes. We have plans for that. We hope to get them out pretty soon, although we are working on a number of things at this time. I guess anyone else have anything to add?
Not really. Modpacks
All
was
right.
kind of the first step for this, so that that kind of shows our progress, you could say.
Really, I lost my train of
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add.
Good luck getting out of that chair.
We might have lost a question there, but will Modrinth have its own Twitch or YouTube?
Um, Probably I would say no, just because we don't really have anything to promote on a Twitch or YouTube. Like, if we had actual stuff to publish, then probably, but we kind of don't.
Okay. I think the question that accidentally got deleted is about where we see Modrinth in a year.
Yes.
I think it's out of order, so it might show up
Oh,
eventually.
is it? Oh,
No,
I saw
it was
pop
on
up.
there.
Right. All right. Why do mod packs have a list of allowed URLs? How is it maintained? So the list of allowed URLs is not part of the spec necessarily. It's part of what the host, in this case Modrinth, allows. Currently, we allow GitHub and GitLab links, although we are open to allowing more in the future. And this isn't a list that it's an open spec, so other rehosts of Modrinth's services could have different lists, and launchers shouldn't specifically enforce the list because we could change it on our side at any time.
It's mainly due to probably security reasons. Otherwise, malicious links could be posted.
But if you're trying to say something, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, turn your volume up.
Any better?
Hit V and turn the slider all the way up.
I turn the slider up.
Do what I just did.
Yes, it's okay.
It's working literally any better.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Alright, yeah, so, really the list is mainly for security reasons. I mean, if we allowed arbitrary links, then there's a good chance that at some point a moderator could get, like, a malicious link. So it would be really a security hole. But, hosts of Modrinth have their own lists.
Okay, next question here is: will modpack contain project and version IDs for Modrinth mods?
That isn't really needed. Like, there's the version file API route, which can give this information from a hash, which is already included in the spec. So, all in all, it's possible for like a format version 2, but it's kind of unnecessary.
Why did you create Modrinth? What inspired the Modrinth pack format? I guess to start, why did you create Modrinth? I think it's pretty well known in the community that there are some problems associated with having all of your mods relying on a single host, and that basically gives them full power to do whatever they want with it. And we created it to be a community-driven open source project that anyone can contribute to and improve and make better. And we're steadily working towards our goals of making it the best that we can make it. And then what inspired the Modrinth pack format? A lot of discussion with like launcher developers and what they wanted and what they needed out of the format, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't exclusive to just mods that are on Modrinth. And originally we had that open to CurseForge CDN links, but that is no longer the case due to a request from them. But we're still open to mods that are hosted on other platforms like GitHub and GitLab, and we can expand that list in the future. Why do the Modrinth projects have such weird names?
How dare you call Greek culture weird? No, just kidding. Yeah, it's all based on that, like, the old myth of the Minotaur and, you know, Minoan culture, ancient Minoan culture. And yeah, everything kind of follows that same naming scheme. But wait, what is pronounced like what glitch? Minotaur, however it's pronounced. I don't speak ancient Greek, I only speak modern Greek. But anyway, it's all based on that same myth because, you know, our name is Mod and Labyrinth. So it's kind of like, it all has to follow that same scheme.
Next question is, any plans for more login auth providers? For reference, currently you have to sign in through your GitHub account, and I know that's not ideal for a lot of players who might not necessarily have a GitHub account but still want to be able to follow mods and stuff. So yes, in the future we'll have other logins, and we will have our own in-house login system. So you don't need to be associated with.
Somebody asked Discord logins. That's a possibility. I don't know how likely it is, but it is a possibility.
Does Modrinth see web ads as sustainable given launchers exist? Are there
any numbers?
Are there any numbers? I don't think we'll be giving out any numbers currently, and we have plans to change the ad system in the not so far future. So any numbers we do have would be not very relevant as terms of like revenue numbers. But we see ads as sustainable, but we also have other plans to for sustainability.
And no, those other plans are not NFTs. We just need to make that clear every time we say that. It is not cryptocurrency, it is not NFTs.
Oh, and the ads will never be obnoxious. That goes completely against our purpose. Are there plans to support mods for other games? Simply, yes, but not right now. Right now, we're very much focused on the Minecraft aspect, and we have a lot to do in order to get that where we want it. But eventually, yeah, we probably will be expanding it to other games. But I would see that as like a very long-term goal, not anything you should expect anytime soon.
Devalin, I know you asked that as a joke, but it's coming.
It's coming. Does Modrinth mean Mod Labyrinth?
Yes.
Yes.
It does. Now,
What's
that does give the implication that Modrinth is difficult to travel through, which is kind of the funny part about it, is that it's not. It's supposed to be the exact opposite. But anyway, next question.
What's the Svelte kit rewrite, and how does it solve all the problems? Well, I mean, you can argue about frameworks and stuff all you want, but uh, the main reason it solves all the problems is because it was written from the ground up to be cleaner, and us, the developers, prefer writing with SvelteKit, and we think it also makes it easier for people to contribute without having to figure their way through Vue and Next. And so far, all of us have very much enjoyed developing in it, and it makes making components and everything much easier and simpler, and it's making the development go a lot faster. So, yeah, it will be solving all the problems.
All does not mean all.
Some of the problems. How is the project of the week selected?
Oh, that's me. Basically, I just go through the recently created projects for the week, and I make a list of the ones that seem very cool, and out of that list, I pick the one that seems the coolest. It's not very intricate. It's just whatever I like.
It is based.
It's
Sign up
probably very
publishing
biased.
without GitHub auth. Yep, as we said earlier, soon, or I wouldn't say soon. At some point, we will be moving away from.
Trademark symbol, of course.
Yeah, soon with the trademark symbol. We will be moving away from pure GitHub auth, and so yeah, that will happen eventually. Are there any craft bucket forks other than Purper that you've considered support for? I mean, yeah, we will be supporting most mod loaders, I think.
I think our initial list was bucket, sticket, paper, and purper. If there are any others, we probably could add them. It's very trivial for us to add new loaders on some sites.
Wait, how do I read the full question?
I have a question.
You need to read it before you put it up.
Yeah,
Go to the previous slide.
Okay. Let's see. Is there any way or any planned way to edit mod pages in? Did anyone ask this question? Remember what it said?
Hold on.
In bulk, apparently.
In bulk.
The back button doesn't work.
Okay. I don't know how exactly you would edit mod pages in bulk, but you could do whatever you want with the API. So you could write a script to do things in bulk if you want. Yeah. Is the creator reward system planned anytime in the near future? Yes, that's what we're currently working on.
Right now.
Will there be a Modrinth style launcher? Yes, we are also working on that.
Yeah, we're actively developing it.
That will be coming at some point after the payouts, which is the last thing we talked about. Could you see official Modrinth mod spotlights? I assume you mean like videos about mods? Probably not, because we're not. Um, I mean, if a person makes one, they could probably. The author could put it
Ultimately, we
on their
need somebody
page.
who wants to make them, and we don't have anybody right now who wants to make them. So if somebody is out there and willing to volunteer, yeah, you can do that. Just contact us before making it official.
Rehosts of Modrinth services, what does that mean? Alright, yeah, I didn't explain this very well earlier, but since all of Modrinth's projects are open source, in theory you could clone them all, make some changes, and put up your own Modrinth site based on all the same software. So that's what I meant by that. Do you see Theseus as a rival? Theseus is our launcher, by the way, as a rival to launchers like PolyMC in the future. I think they would each have their place. The Modrinth one would
Yeah, I wouldn't
obviously
call
be.
it a rival.
Yeah, the Modrinth one would obviously be focused around Modrinth, and it would be very well integrated with that. But I don't think.
And then also it provides just a good general launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how Fabric isn't supposed to be a rival of Forge, but people think it is, but it's really not.
And we have, yeah, like it'll have like line stuff, along with like a graphical interface.
Yeah, to address the point about like power users, it is the Modrinth launcher is gonna try and be more user friendly than PolyMC, but we haven't really gotten any concrete stuff on that yet. I mean, we've started work on the like front end for it, but it's still very preliminary.
We have a question here. Could loader metadata, particularly mod IDs, be exposed in the API? Possibly. The challenge with that is that's like loader specific concepts, and in this case it would probably be fine, because pretty much every loader has some kind of concept of a mod ID, but um, not all loader metadata would necessarily be cross loader. And then what do you do when you request that data for a mod that is on a different loader that doesn't have it? So there's challenges there, but I could see that being a useful thing that we might want to do in the future. Will Modrinth support NFTs? You want to take it away? Anna?
No.
No.
Thank you. How will our GitHub-based accounts be migrated? Well, they certainly will be migrated. I would imagine you would still be able to sign in through GitHub as always, and we might, but you would just be able to create accounts that don't necessarily have to be associated with GitHub accounts.
If by NFTs you mean neat fucking taters, then yes.
Taters.
Spuds.
Are we going to add full HTML5/CSS3 support with the exception of script tags? No. I think the main reason for that is to not make mod pages a disaster. But we will be in the future adding more Markdown or HTML elements that will allow you to add some predetermined colors and styles, like maybe like a info or warning bubble sort of thing, to your descriptions without having like raw CSS access.
Yeah, because that, I mean, we all know where MySpace went.
What about like just a little bit of CSS?
I mean, there's gonna be certain things that we allow, but we're not gonna allow like everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just a little bit as a treat.
Will you be able to put any kind of mod on Modrinth? I don't know what that means by any kind,
Specify what kind means.
but certainly we have rules, so no, you can't put any mod you want on Modrinth.
Yeah, like there are.
Why
Or
would they
girlfriend
support JavaScript though, like at all?
I don't
What
mean
about SVG
JavaScript.
though?
No JavaScript.
Wait, what about SVG though?
What is that?
Like SVG images.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that already supported?
I don't know. It makes me more.
No, no JavaScript. That would be horrible.
Do you guys want to look
Imagine-
at some of these questions, see if you want to answer any of them?
Test.
Currently getting a whopping 3 frames per second, so
Okay, so it's not just this computer.
Yeah, I'm getting TPS lag.
Yeah, the TPS is in the drain.
It's currently 20 SPT.
I can answer the one about glitch from glitch.
Okay.
I
Put it
just
up
like
on the
press
screen.
the button.
Yeah, I'll press the buttons.
Okay, so I can't turn around to read the question, but isn't it like what do the Modrinth team get paid anything?
Yeah, yeah.
The answer is no. In the future, we might take a bit from like the search ad revenue, but that's pretty far out, and it's not likely to happen anytime soon. We're gonna prioritize getting creators their money first before we get anything.
Yeah. Will there be any form of groups, organizations that you could list members and projects under? Yes, I believe this is planned and sort of already exists in the API, but it doesn't really make any sense on the front end. But I think that's a feature a lot of authors would use. There's a lot of groups of authors that make projects, so yes, that will be a thing.
Probably like 75th on our priority list or so.
Are there any plans for Modrinth to support modded servers in the future, like serverless in the launcher? Possibly.
That is a possibility. But it's not.
But again, right now we don't have a functional launcher, so I think that would be the priority for us right now.
Alright, hopefully that should reduce one.
This question's about basically support for other loaders that we haven't specifically added already. In general, as long as there's more than a handful of mods for a particular loader. If you want to request it, we will probably look into it. Um,
Yeah, like I will say that there is a plan that is in for doing something like this, but it's far off in the future.
yeah. We obviously don't want just hundreds of loaders with like one mod each on them, but also we're open to smaller loaders, and we've recently added Rift and mod loader
Yeah,
support, which we've
there's
been yeah. So there's not a ton of mods for those, but maybe in the
We
future
also
could.
have the validators on the back end for light loader. We can probably add that soon.
Yeah, light loader will be coming very soon. So yeah, we want to support as many loaders as we can, but we also don't want to do that at the cost of the user experience, basically. And then another question, just how would you go about requesting support for a mod loader? I would recommend first just bring it up to us in Discord, and if we think it's a good idea, then we could either add it right then or have you open a GitHub issue for it. But I would recommend trying to talk to us first, just in the public Discord.
Thank you for the free stuff.
Ability to give mods more than 3 tags. Uh, Possibly. There's a couple problems here. One's a UI problem. In search, you don't want to have these mod cards with like multiple rows of tags on them, because that would not be a great user experience. Um, However, there's as we add more project types, and at some point we'll be adding um, server-side plugin support, and those kind of mods would use a different set of tags, which probably also should be available to mods. And then as the tag list grows, they might be more granular, and it might make sense to have more than 3. So for now, I think with the current tag set that we or category set we have, 3 is fine. But if we add more in the future, we might have to look into seeing how that changes. And this question about is also similar to that. Are there any plans to let mods add tags like GitHub repos? That is something we've at least considered in the past. There is an extra challenge with that, which is that if you let people just type whatever they want, um, it's harder to group similar categories, and you end up with things uh, like some repos have like fabric MC as a tag, some have fabric under or fabric hyphen Minecraft, and that sort of thing. So it's harder to find and filter by the tag you want when they're user generated. And currently our categories have icons which help you recognize them quicker. Um, so yeah, uh, I don't think that's currently in the plans, but maybe something like that could be considered in the future.
Helvetica Toast, your book, I asked Modrinth CEO, and he said Modrinth 2 has been live for months. So take that as you will.
No NFTs, but what about NFTs? Now they're tree farms for context.
Aren't those so laggy?
Yeah,
Those
sure.
would bring the TPS down even more than it's down on this server.
Is there a Modrinth booth here?
What
No.
you can put in there.
I mean, I guess we could build a giant logo. But no, I don't. We don't have a mod booth here.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best we could do is just make something out of like charcoal or coal blocks.
Will there be a distinction made between mod platforms and plugin platforms? So this is something that we've gone back and forth about a number of times internally, but I think we've settled on in the back end they will all be the same. They'll all be mods, but they will be separated on the front end for just because that's what people are used to. So on the front end, you'll have like a mod section and the plugin section, but they're the same project. So a project like World Edit, for example, you click on it and it's the page for both the like Fabric Forge versions as well as the Bucket Sponge versions, whatever. So it'll be a purely front end split.
What does that mean for server-side Fabric or Quilt plugins? Stuff like
Nothing.
Nucleoid.
It's just
They're
it's just a
mods.
different terminology. So, it just to make it easier. So when people are coming here to search for Bucket plugins, they're not searching under the mods category.
So plugins will be in their own category, even though there's only like one sort of plugin loader. Do like sponge plugins end up on the plugin page?
Yeah, it'll just be based on what they're called. Even though they're all mods.
Yeah, like if Sponge calls them mods, we'll put them under mods. If Sponge calls them plugins, we'll put them under plugins.
Makes sense.
If Modrinth is open source, does that mean someone could make Modrinth for X game? Yep, you could make that. It would be a bit of work, and we wouldn't necessarily. I mean, we might help you with it a little bit, but it's not something we're gonna support. So you're gonna have to make sure you understand the challenges that you'll have to deal with in order to do that. But
with that said, how much does it cost to host Modrinth?
It depends on what scale you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's just say like Modrinth for World of Warcraft, because I know there's a big modding scene for that game.
I mean, it's hard for us to answer that because we don't know World of Warcraft. We're in Minecraft. We're Minecraft people.
That's fair.
So, if maybe somebody could test that out for us.
Yeah, I mean, like the only other game I know of really is Kerbal Space Program, and then I don't know anything really about that.
Any plans to improve Google search results? For example, Britannia Minecraft was the example they gave there. Yeah, we know the SEO is not great on the current site, but a lot of that's fixed on the rewrite.
Yeah, single page web apps are rather annoying to get SEO right on.
Yeah, we know the SEO is horrible. And we also know what to do to fix it, and it has been fixed for the most part on the rewrite. So, yeah, that'll just come at some point. Yeah, yeah, that's what SEO is.
Someone's having a little PvP battle.
She shot me several times before in my defense.
Calm down.
Moving on.
Will Modrinth Markdown support QOI images? I wasn't familiar with this, but I looked it up. Looks like some sort of image standard that's supposedly faster. Right now we just support.
I think it's just whatever a web browser does.
Yeah, it's really up to the web browsers to support it. Yeah. Will Modrinth ever pull an epic April 1st joke? Sure.
What do you want it to be? What do you want us to do for April Fools? Whoever asked that.
I have some pretty good
Switch
ideas.
all of the tags, or switch cursed with like adventure or something. You just
Without sacrificing usability.
uh, do what Discord did. I forgot what they did. They did like one time they quote unquote removed light mode.
Next
That was a
question.
genuinely
Sacrifices
terrible.
usability.
Or wait. I got it.
You could also
We
do
just
like
change the brand
add
color
custom
slightly
themes.
so that they look slightly worse.
Oh yeah, like it's some like from the 90s or something.
Just slightly tilt it, just ever so slightly. The whole thing.
Yeah, 1 degree.
Alright, this next question here is, will Modrinth eventually get bought out by another corporation? No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Can't see the future, but for now, our future is independent.
It would take a lot of more money, like way more than anyone reasonably want to ever spend, so no.
And also, would certainly have to meet moral restrictions.
So basically, Overwolf isn't buying us anytime soon.
Elon Musk will buy Modrinth and make it better.
There's a question about what exactly someone would have to do to request mod loader support, and like what exactly we'd want to know. Really, just let us know about it, and I guess show that there's more than a handful of mods from multiple creators, so it's not just your loader with your mods and that's it. Like, show that there's some sort of ecosystem there. I think that should be about it. And I mean, it'll be decided on a case by case basis. So I'm not just gonna say whatever you tell us, as long as it meets these requirements, we'll get in. But you know, just send a request. Have any of the Modrinth team met each other in person? No, we were
Not
talking about
yet.
that though earlier. Not yet.
I mean, the rest of the team besides me all lives in the same like general area. I'm on the complete other side of the country, but it's possible for the other guys to meet up.
Is in-house authentication system a requirement for modder payouts? No.
Don't think so.
It should be, when we move to in-house, it should be a pretty seamless transition, and there's nothing that about modder payments that would require that. It would just moving in-house would make it more convenient for people to sign up. That's about it. This question is about monetization plan for mod packs. It's not much different from how it is for mods, but obviously the creators of the mods that are in the mod packs will also be getting a cut of the revenue. We don't have any final plans on what exactly that cut would be or how that would be figured out, but there will be some sort of cut there. Thank you very much, Amy.
Everybody drop a heart emoji in chat.
Do you plan to support non-jar add-on packs for mods with add-on mods?
Yeah, like that seems like it would be pretty easy. Like that kind of goes with resource packs.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what this means, non-jar add-on packs for mods with add-ons, but
I mean, I know some mods are able to be configured through like data packs, and we're adding data packs soon, so we could just like
Yeah.
add an add-on category.
yeah, more project types will be coming. That's a pretty easy add that we could probably work on between working on payments and other stuff.
And hey, if anybody wants to submit pull requests.
Skin creation and sharing tool on Modrinth, lots of prior art, but of course concerns about. Well, basically, it was also talking about basically paying people for skins. I don't think Modrinth wants to become like a marketplace where you buy and sell goods, because it seems like there's like liability there, people not delivering on what they want, what they said that they would. So I don't think that's really a thing we want to get into.
It's kind of in the same vein as having a source sharing tool or more of a distribution platform.
Yeah. And then the other part of this was forums. I don't think. I know at some point we will be adding some sort of comment feature for projects, but I don't think like a full-on forum is really our our business. It's distributing mods, and I don't think we want to scope creep that much into that, at least right now. And yeah, forums seem pretty dead, but that's not even the reason. So this question, it was a long one, but basically it was about signed CI integration. Um, we do want to. I think a great strength that Modrinth can have is providing tools that make authors' lives easier. And so, like, say for example, building with GitHub Actions and getting that straight to Modrinth. You can already sort of do that with Minotaur or Gradle plugin, but as far as signed stuff, I'm not really sure about that. Um, but as far as just utilities to
I mean,
To
what exactly is meant by signed?
Cryptographically signed. Like, the idea I had for it was that if you set up continuous integration in a way where the mod author couldn't really tamper with it, you could have the continuous integration sign the output somehow, and then the Modrinth itself could verify that, and so that it would know that the mod author hadn't put any extra code in that wasn't on GitHub.
Like encryption, like
It's not it's not encryption, but it uses the same math as encryption. It basically helps guarantee that it's an anti-tampering feature.
I mean, it could be possible.
Like, you know how HTTPS works?
No.
Digitally, like where basically like HTTPS is like you take a website and then it makes sure it's from someone who they know is the correct person.
One major problem I could see with this, is that you would have to trust the builder. So that would mean it would have to be hosted either on GitHub with finding some way to avoid the modder just changing the GitHub actions to introduce that naughty code, or it would have to be hosted by Modrinth themselves, and then that's a whole can of worms.
We just review, you know, builds as they come in.
Yeah, that's probably more convenient. I don't know, maybe it would make sense to have like a expected like hash value calculated as part of the CI for Modrinth, and then if something else gets uploaded, then raise an alarm. But that's probably also something that already exists.
I mean, it's possible, but
One
it's.
thing I'd say is that we need a lot more moderation resources to do that. Just because, as you know, there's kind of an expectation where it's not just a development build, where it's in a ready enough state that we can review it. So we're not constantly having to moderate. Yeah, those are kind of a get it at your own risk thing.
Well, they are when you're a user, but this would be for releases.
Is
Here,
it possible? Yes. Are we going to implement it soon? Unlikely.
Fair.
here's a question. What does the verification and authentication process look like for Modrinth? How does the verification process look like, or for malicious code / malware work? Also, thank you for Modrinth is great. As far as verification and authentication of users, that's pretty easy because you have your GitHub profile linked. So in order to fool us, you would basically, into thinking like you're someone else, you would have to have like a GitHub account that looks like the original author, and what?
Class, take these.
You would have to have a GitHub account with like years of history that makes you look like the original author, which is basically impossible. And
anyway,
you like,
usernames have to be unique.
You just have to be an identity thief.
Yeah, you would have to be crazy to do
You
that.
literally have to steal their account.
Yeah, you have to commit identity theft.
So that is a benefit of having your GitHub account linked. When we have in-house authentication, it would be a little harder to verify that, but
I mean, probably we do it through some form of like OAuth. I could think of if we did with like OAuth with like development services, maybe.
Yeah, just something to prove that you are who you say you are. But GitHub is a very easy way for us to do that. And then the other part of that was malware. Of course, on the first review of a project, we pretty thoroughly look through to make sure it seems trustworthy. But after that, we rely on user reports once a project has been approved.
It's worth noting that even after the initial review, like every file that's uploaded is still validated to make sure that it's like a valid mod. Like you can't just upload any file and say that it's. You can't upload any file to Modrinth. It has to be like a valid mod and a valid mod pack, you know, like that.
Here is a question: why do you host Gnosis on Vercel? Simple answer: it's easy, it's simple. But with the rewrite, we'll be moving to Cloudflare pages.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we already have it on Vercel, so why change it?
Y'all are doing a rewrite.
Yeah, it's quite far along.
On the front end.
You can see it at rewrite.modrinth.com. There's a lot being done there.
It's a rewrite of the front end.
Of the front end, yes. And it's based on the Svelte kit, which is also what we're using for our launcher front end, which allows us to share a lot of components and makes development
It's based
a lot easier.
on what?
Svelte kit.
Svelte kit, and that's the same thing you're using for the web view and the launcher.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, under Tori.
And then for our final question, how much does it cost to host Modrinth as is? And from Gio, the founder, he said $500 a month. About. All right. Thank you everybody for listening. I hope you got your questions answered. And
This rewrite is really cool.
That's it. Thank you. I like the button animations.
Thanks for that, everyone.
All right.
We're gonna set up the next one straight away.